Morning, everyone. I'm here, your host Shashi, with you all on Women Dialogue Global Talk Show to create more voice for women and by women. And today we have here again with our very beautiful speaker, having a lot of experience in her work, and she's connecting. Our guest is connecting from Kenya, Falita. She is executive director Beyond Odds Women International. As you can see, little glimpse in her background as well, as she's doing a lot of work in this field for women, and she's doing lots of project in her organization. So let's hear from her what made her inspired to start this, how she come up on this point that she want to do this work, what was her life journey was, how she grew up, what kind of things she learned to overcome all challenges or good or bad experiences while adding in her life, and how she is doing in current work as well. So we are here with our today's speaker, Felita, who is going to share about her story, about her life journey, about her career, and to inspire and to motivate us by sharing her journey. So welcome, Felita, on our Women Dialogue Global Talk Show.
Thank you very much, Shashi. I'm really delighted to be here, and thank you for reaching out to me and feeling that my story would be inspiring to the women in the world and everybody else who will be listening to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Falita, for giving us opportunity to share your story, your journey, and being with us today to inspire and motivate our audience and our listeners. As I was talking about you, so let's start first knowing about you, the place you grew up, what kind of journey you had in your childhood, and what kind of experiences you had in your childhood. Please share with us.
Felistah was born like every other normal girl in a family with a father and a mother, but in the midst of 12 siblings. I am number 11 in a remote area of Mount Kenya region. Growing up just like any other girl, but met a lot of challenges in my young life. Challenges meaning changing of environment before you even come to realize yourself. That one, number one, disoriented the child. Then number two, I was faced by a lot of child molestation. I was molested by the so-called, here we call them shamba boys. That means that like the men who are employed to like take care of your homestead. So they took advantage of me, and that really broke me down, and I lost a lot of trust in men and adult people. And I sought my refuge in children. So I would be found anywhere children are. And up to date, I still have a way with children of any type, of any kind. So that made me so much so withdrawn, because I would not understand why one after another employee would take advantage of a young girl. And by then, my mom was so overwhelmed. Remember, we are 12 children, and she has to work around feeding us. So I would not even time to disclose. And when these people come, then you, when you're threatened, you kind of close down and you cannot share with anyone. And also my dad, having the overload of all these 12 children, would never have my attention because he was always away from home. He was working away from home. And when he comes maybe once in a year, and he was the kind of person who was very tough to approach, so I would never even share to him. So the way my journey at least changed a bit is when I got a chance to join a boarding primary school. It helped me to be to be spoken, and also be able to confront some of the things in my life. So I found a place where I could focus on my education, and I passed well to go to a provincial secondary school that was also boarding. To me, boarding somehow was like a safe place for me, because I don't get to be harassed by these men. So high school was also good because after when we closed down, we never used to go home. We used to go for tuition. So I didn't have time to be idle. But what happened when I was a child really broke me down, because it became mentally, you become disoriented. It affects even the way you relate with other people, your social life. So I even think up to now, going back down my life, I've always had one friend in every stage. The others, I would not even, and even that friend doesn't know me totally. It's just up to a particular point in life. And after I finished my high school, that's when I got to join my campus, which was Jomo Kenyatta International University, which is based in Juja or Thika. And I studied IT, of which when I was young, I remember I wanted to be a lawyer because I was like, there are so many injustices in this world, and I want to be the one standing in the gap to fight for people's justice. But apparently, when I got to campus, my brother chose for us, my elder brother chose for me the course to take, and I didn't have a choice to choose, so I had to do it anyway. But I'm grateful because everything in the world today is digital and technology based, so it was not a loss for me. And then after that, that was the first time I got a boyfriend, I would say. And when in campus, you get to explore, and it's like a competition or a certain peer pressure thing. So this is when I indulged with this guy, and apparently I came to realize that the molestation that I had as a child was now coming in forcibly, because it's the time that I realized that the person or the people who molested me actually affected me, because when I indulged with this boyfriend, I had a very heavy candida that was really awful. I would say I would change like 3 or 4 panties in a day. It was very smelly. And we tried to walk around looking for somewhere to get the medication, but all the medication we were being given could not work. It was so horrifying for me that it even affected the way I would go to class, my social life. So at some point, I overheard some women saying that you can use garlic. I don't know even how I dropped that conversation, that you can use garlic to heal some of these things. And I said, you know what? I'm the one who is suffering. I will take a leap of faith and try this thing. So I would crush the garlic and wrap it up with a clean handkerchief, white cloth, and then use it as to insert. It was really painful, but I think I appreciate the idea because it helped me a lot. But then that had to be the boyfriend I had that time was ahead of me, campus wise, and it reached to a point he cleared school. But then after a while, when you go to the corporate world, you see things differently. So one day I just felt I need to visit him, and when I visited him, I met his friends with him and their girlfriends, and apparently he was with another girlfriend. That really broke me down again. And I remember leaving that place and I was like, there's no man I can trust. And I made a vow that time that I never want to get married. If I want to have a child, I just look for someone to have a child with and I call it off. And then I want to be alone for the rest of my life. So after I finished campus, I got a job with the bank in Kenya here, and I worked there for 5 years. I was very hardworking. I remember most of the clients wanted to be associated with me or wanted me to serve them. And I broke a record by the time I was leaving, because I said I wanted to work there for 5 years and achieve a managerial post. But when 5 years reached, I had not gotten that position. So I felt I just need to leave and find something else in life. So upon leaving, I joined somebody else I had met on a work tour. He was also doing some consultancy and governance company, and he approached me and asked if I can join to be part of his organization. But apparently, as I worked more and more in this organization, I realized this person was using the name of the government to get investors from abroad and come to Kenya, but he was not actually, I would say he was not actually right, or he was not honest in his dealings. So when I found out that actually, I began to doubt when I found out that one of the ladies we had employed as a receptionist had not been paid for 3 months. And by that time, I remember I had told him we can forfeit my salary so that we make sure that the employees are well paid. And this girl was a girl from the western part of Kenya. She had rented a small house and she was a single mother. And when she approached me, it was at a point when her things were being thrown out and she didn't know anywhere to go. So I really felt bad. And I remember I took a week off just to get away from this situation because I could not help this girl. But this guy told me that he's paying the people, and I have said that I don't want to be paid so that the employees can be well capable of doing their job and can be stable. So it really affected me. I went away, and I remember after a week I came back. The person had to use a mediator to help me to come back to the organization. And I listened and I said, let me give him the benefit of doubt. But the moment I went back, things were never the same again. Because when the trust is broken, when you cannot meet what we have agreed, there is a breach of contract. So at the end of it, I decided, you know what, let me just leave. And the people I had gotten contacts with, I told them, I don't believe this guy is true, and I just want to leave. But apparently, I came to learn. I remember the same year before I left, my brother had a wedding, and this guy had even decided to volunteer to give a vehicle for the bridal show. But when it got to the wedding day, the guy did not show up. So that was also another thing that made me not trust in this person. So I had to look for an extra car just to fill up the space. And apparently, he was coming in when the vows were going on. So I got really irritated, but I think the guy saw what he had done, and he was looking now for my sister to try and apologize because I would not give him a chance. And I didn't know, apparently, they had decided that he will come to my home place to visit with my sister. So that was never mentioned by my sister. She forgot to tell me. So come Christmas, I went home, and when we are with my mother, I remember we are 12 siblings and they are all married. I'm the only one now remaining to be married. So, and we are like, when we go home, we are like almost 12 siblings, and their family, we are almost like 30. So you can imagine when we are preparing the beddings for everyone to fit in. So I remember we were with my mother and we were preparing the beddings and all that stuff. And my mother receives a call that I have a guest. And that time is at 11 a.m. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've not invited anyone for Christmas at my home. In fact, I don't remember ever inviting anybody in my life. So I told my mom, whoever it is, I have not invited anyone. Let them sort themselves out. So my brother had a motorbike, so he had to go and find where they are and bring them home. By the time they were coming, it was at midnight. I got so pissed off because I'm wondering who comes at a parent's home in the midnight. So I said, let me go and see them. And when I went to see them, they were a driver, him, and another pastor. They were coming to apologize. So I told them, who comes at a parent's home in the middle of the night? And of course, they did not have an answer. And I told them, by the way, we are so full, there's no place for you to sleep. But too bad, you just came on the wrong time, at the wrong time. So he tried to introduce me to this pastor and ask for forgiveness. And I really felt bad because number one, this guy made me leave out of my job. And then now, adding salt to injury, with all those escapades of the 6 months we worked together, he has audacity to come and apologize at my parents' home at the midnight. So I told them, you know what? I don't have the heart to forgive right now. I need some time and so that I can be in a position to forgive you. And I told them, I don't know where you will sleep, but we have no room for you here. You just go and sort yourself out. And I remember them opening the boot full of shopping they were bringing to my parents. And I told them, you know what? Everybody is at home and everybody has done shopping for my mother. We don't need anything from you. Just go as you came. So they left. And coming back to Nairobi, that journey was the beginning of a really tough time because I
So,
had to leave
so
now where I was working and come back.
yeah. So, Tita, when we are talking about this, your life journey, where you are bringing a lot of issues from very early age, molestation, the male's attitude towards the female, even not in younger age, but in further when you were in college and or in your career life. What made you strike the very important point in your life about the male perceptions of thinking? What exactly where the gap is?
The gap,
Yep.
I would say the gap was number one. My dad was not at home, so he was away from home. He's supposed to be the protector, and we didn't have a chance of that. Number two, the children were way too much for my mother to handle, so most of the time she's busy. Number three, my siblings were a bit elderly than me, so of course they would go to school the whole day. And for me, I was young, so I would leave the school a bit early. So that made possible for the houseboy to have the opportunity to take advantage of. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So those are you're talking about your personal gap, like you had in your life. But I'm talking in general. Uh, when we are talking all those issues, I believe you have dedicated your work and your career for that. You must be hearing, or you might be hearing many different issues as well. That's why you are working in this field a lot. What kind of issues you are hearing, and when you hear these issues, what made you to understand that what is really lacking and we need to work towards that?
Actually, because of what I have been through my life and so being closed up that I cannot be able to experience the world like a normal child or like a normal person because of my experience, made me realize that this is a place that has not really been invested a lot because if the child is not protected at the young age, it affects even their productivity, even in their later ages. The other thing is because even in my own life, I realized that when I moved to the place where I am right now, it's my home where we have turned the rescue center to be. I started inviting girls. I would call them house helps. I would look for house help, but not just any kind of house help. A girl who has been through a tough life, an orphan, and then I would bring them to my place and make them feel at home like I'm their sister. And apparently I realized all those girls I came across, they were broken, they were molested. So I found myself as I am doing this, I felt so fulfilled because I found that these girls have gone through the same thing that I've gone through. And out of speaking to them and make them feel like part of my family and my sisters, made them heal at the same time I was also getting them healed. So it reached a point that I felt that now this is where I need to go, and this is where I feel fulfilled giving back to the community. And that's why I settled for this
Yeah,
ministry.
yeah, I got your point, Tita. But here we are talking about you experience those kind of things which no one should experience. No one should have such kind of memories or experience in their life. And now you are working for others as well, which is wonderful. But what, as a society or as a structure, is a is in the society, that it's keep happening, and what kind of program, what kind of project we should do more often to control or to make understand that this is something not right. So how you are doing in this way, like when you're talking about, you run your organization, you do a lot of programs for women and or for children, but what kind of program is required for the society or for the male, to make them understand from very early age that this is something we need to change?
Okay, in Kenya, we are doing community engagement and awareness programs, which is civic education and awareness. Then we also do that in terms of different setups. Like if it's women, we talk to the women and address the issues that surrounds women and how they should protect their children to avoid these things happening to their
Right.
children and the generation to come. And also if it's youths who have already been affected, we have different programs so that we can be able to make sure that they get out of that hardship and be able to shape their lives for the future. If it's children, we have children related programs so that we make the children to be bold enough, courageous to speak out when things happen to them. And by doing this, we will be able to have a holistic kind of approach where each and every member of the society is engaged in this. Also for the men, in Kenya now we are actively encouraging the boy child to be involved in issues of gender-based violence awareness and also act as activists to be able to show other men, look, here we have lacked and we need to step up as men who can act as role models to these boys so that we can change the status quo or how it has been in the past. We are also engaging with different partners and collaborations through and other NGOs. Like we have a collaboration with SDG Kenya, with the Kenya Women of Faith, which is a group of women in the slums who are living with HIV. And also another youth group in Mathare, also a slum, and in Dandora, which is called JIPE. And we are actively even engaging the youths to be able not to idle and be involved in crime, because remember, all these things come from being idle and having negative mindsets. And we engage them positively so that they can affect the community in a positive way. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those programs, as you're talking about, you must be creating a lot of impact. So when we are talking about impact, would you like to bring maybe some story or some impactful work which you have done?
Sorry, I didn't get that right.
As you was talking about your programs, you are doing a lot of programs at all different levels, so you are creating impact in a positive way. Would you like to share some story or where you have created impact in their life?
Yes, I would like at this moment to speak about the Rescue Center. So we work hand in hand with the community, the key leaders in the community, say like county government, like the chiefs, like the people in community leaders who knows what is happening really on the ground. And we can trust them with the legitimacy of the people or the women and girls that are being affected by gender-based violence. So they bring up the cases to us and they help us to vet the legitimacy of the case. So we work hand in hand with them to rescue those particular cases. And when we rescue them, we admit them in our rescue center. so that we can give them peace of mind and help them and rescue them from their perpetrators. Once we bring them here, we help them to settle down in a new environment. We offer them the basic needs. We also take them through our programs that will help them to heal. Because remember, if your mental health is not stable, even your productivity and even the way you bring up the children is also affected. So we take them through counseling and psychosocial support. We have volunteers. We are really grateful who have been supporting us in these programs. We also take them through training and capacity building, giving them life skills, and also exchange programs of women who have gone through challenges in life but have made it, so that we can give them hope that they can stand again. But at the moment, we also want to go ahead and make a bigger impact to them, not only to just make them through the healing process, but we also to add some skills to them, skills that even when we reintegrate them back to the society, they can help them to be self-reliant and for sustainability. So right now it's the time that we are looking for donors and well-wishers who can support us to do our empowerment programs.
Right.
These
Yeah.
empowerment
Yeah.
programs
So
that
definitely, Tita, we will
we
put your work detail in the description, and if somebody aligned with your work and they feel yes they would like to support, they can reach out to you and they can support. So Tita, moving ahead, um, having all those experiences, some are really very bad and lifelong, those unwanted and emotional trauma, physical trauma you faced. What message would you like to give to our all women, and along with that, our young generation who are listening, who are watching us? Uh, what one thing you would like that if you had that, you could have not, um, been on that, particular trauma, or been on that stage where you had faced all these things. So, what one thing you feel that those all women, all girls, all our young generation who is listening can keep in their mind, in their life?
For the women and the parents, I want to tell them that parenting is a calling. If you decide on giving birth or bringing up a generation, it's your duty to make sure that those children are well catered for, mentally, physically, even security wise. Make these children your friends. I'm not for the, okay, my opinion is for the people who give birth to many children and you cannot be able to account for each and every life of that child. Have a standard family where you can be able to cope up with every child and have their welfare well catered for. And for the children, make sure that they feel so comfortable to share anything with you. Don't be the kind of parent who is never at home, because you will never get to know how this child is, or you will not even create a rapport to understand your child properly in order to make sure that they become who they are meant to be. So there's a lot of lack in that. And then another lack in the society today is buying gadgets to the children and you don't even monitor what they are doing behind those screens. It's really affecting our children. And I can say it's not the only source of entertainment to be on internet. You can find other games that make the children engaged in the society. And not for me, internet is good if it's used for the right purpose, but as it is right now, it's making children so withdrawn that they become only friends with the gadget and they fail to know how to socialize in life. So let's balance all this and make
Mhm.
sure that we learn our children when they are young so that we mold
Right.
them to what they want to become.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so true, and that's very important. And when we are talking all your work, all about issues and the solution for creating better society and community, how you find having a global talk show like Women Dialogue is so important and needed?
For me, it creates a lot of networks, number one, for people doing the same kind of thing, and you need to support each other. So it will help someone who sees what we are doing reach out through Women Dialogues. I'm grateful for that. And it also helps people to be aware of what is going on in life today. And if even bring stories of women or any other kind of person who have gone through challenges that what is worth breaking them. But out of those challenges, they create a good story that is impactful to the society, which is what we want. We want people to make a better world, the world a better place to live, not a disaster.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you, Tita, for sharing your story, sharing about your work, and some unexpected and unwanted experiences. We wish you can overcome and develop yourself more confident and a strong woman who is ready to support all other our present and coming generations, to give them that courage and strength as well. So wish you all the very best what you are doing, and we will put your details in the description as well. So audience and listeners, as you hear about our speaker's story, how she grew up, what kind of things she was lacking in being a child, and through those things how she uh, faced those trauma, but same time how she was keep having that perseverance and then resistance to uh, come out from those trauma and keep growing herself in her way what she wanted to become. So there, here you learn a lot, I believe. We ourselves learn a lot, and along with this, I feel if you feel yourself you align with this kind of work and purpose, please get connect with us. I'm going to put her details in the description as well. She is from Kenya, and she is working for child and for women and for all kind of um, youth and different generations. She's working. So please look at her work and support her. That's what for today I would just like to share. And as always we say, we are here to support and grow to each other. And in the same way, I believe you have gained something new to know about uh, the work, about the different geography, and will take in the same way in your own life, get inspired, to get motivated, and create your own life in a better way. Thank you. With the same note, I will say I will come with new speaker, with new story, and new inspiration to give you in your life. Take care. Bye bye.